What is going on, you guys? It is Dark Ops here, and today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be covering Across the Spider-Verse. I've taken like 3 times, and I still say Into the Spider-Verse. But, anyways, I really like this movie. I really like this movie, guys. But unfortunately, there are some things that hold it to being mediocre, as you can tell by the thumbnail, and I'm going to explain why. So let me just cover all the good of this movie, because it does a lot right to make it basically movie of the year, in my opinion. I don't think there's a movie that can come close to how good Across the Spider-Verse is. But it has issues that I think could have been solved if it didn't go in this direction. So let's talk about it. So what do I like about this movie? The animation, of course, is spot on. Most of the characters, even though I'm going to complain about them later, are really cool, and I'm loving the new additions. And the plot itself is pretty cool. So I guess we should start with the fact that I also really like Miles Morales. As you can see by this Miles Morales gameplay, I really like his character. I'm so glad to see him get another movie. I know this is going to be probably his only trilogy, but I really enjoy that they're doing Miles right in this movie as well. The last movie we saw him develop into Spider-Man, and now we get to see him as Spider-Man, and I really enjoy that. Now, they do kind of drag this down a bit because they try to focus on Miles' home life and him not telling his parents, and it works out in the end. Don't get me wrong, the end of the movie is fantastic, but the first section is kind of a drag at times because it feels like Miles isn't really taking much seriously outside of being Spider-Man, and then he gets upset at his parents for I don't know, that kids today, am I right? But I don't understand why they choose to make the beginning drag as much as it does. Just for me personally, I think that the first movie flowed a lot better because we're getting introduced to the character, but since we already know him in this movie, it feels like it's taken a long time to get to the point, especially since we get to see Gwen first for the first half hour of the movie, which I do like, don't get me wrong. She's a great character. She's probably one of the greatest spider characters out there, but it doesn't really make sense to introduce her this early, and then it's just like, here you go, you join the club. And the entire scene was almost entirely pointless. It was cool, but it dragged the plot a little bit, in my opinion. So, I guess we should probably get into the negatives since I've talked most of the positives of this movie. Let's talk about the Spider Legion. The biggest waste of a Legion I've ever seen. The biggest plot device ever. It's so stupid. Where do I even begin? So, I'm going to make the assumption that Miguel only picked Spider-Man that would help him. Except that also can't work, but let's just assume that he does, right? You're telling me that out of thousands of Spider-Man, these would all obey one Spider-Man? Like, one Spider-Man can control them all? Like, are you kidding me? I refuse to believe that every Spider-Man out there would believe in Miguel, right? There's no possible way that he could get everyone to agree, hey, you have to do this, right? I just can't process the fact that even Spectacular Spider-Man, my personal favorite Spider-Man show of all time, would agree to do this. And then it seems like they're trying to kill him too. If you see towards certain sections of the movie, they're all after him, trying to borderline kill this man, and it's ridiculous, right? Why would they all agree to do this? I don't understand. I get canon events are supposed to happen, but this is another big plot hole as well. If you guys paid attention into the second half of the movie, Miguel explains that canon events are supposed to happen to stabilize the universe, right? But well, Miles isn't canon. Miles is not a canon Spider-Man. If you guys didn't know, he was supposed to get bit in Earth 42, not Earth 1610. So why didn't that change anything at all? It doesn't make sense for it not to cause something. And they try to point this out in Into the Spider-Verse towards the ending, but again, it just feels weird. Why would you explain all this and then realize, oh wait, Miguel or Miles is an anomaly, so am I still gonna kill him? That's what I assume what he was thinking, because once he gets towards Miles, he's like, yeah, you're the original anomaly, but there's nothing's happened. What's gonna happen? Is his dad not gonna die? Because his uncle already did, and that was supposed to be the canon event, but now his dad's gonna become captain, and somehow that's relevant? How is his dad being captain relevant when Gwen's dad, who quit last minute, is not dead? He didn't die at all. And does him quitting also affect the canon event? Like, because she lost her best friend, right? But is someone's captain supposed to die as well? It hurts my head they're trying to explain this, because this happens to most Spider-Man out there. Spectacular Spider-Man, we saw that it happened to him. He lost the captain and obviously Uncle Ben. We saw it with the Amazing Spider-Man. Andrew's Peter lost his uncle and the captain. So this would line up for the most part, but then trying to explain it to Miles doesn't make sense, because Miles wasn't supposed to get bit in the first place. So it's just a huge plot. Like, I'm assuming they're going to explain it in Beyond the Spider-Verse, but as it is, it feels really confusing for them to say, yeah, this is how it's supposed to work, but you're an anomaly, but I'm still going to hunt you down anyways because LOL. So I don't understand, like, and especially Peter B. Parker, right? Because he was my favorite Spider-Man in the last movie, in the last Spider Crew, right? Peter B. Parker always had Miles' back, and even in this movie, he's like, yeah, you grow up, I had a kid because of you. That's all fine and well, but you still led them to him. And then you also lied to him and say, yeah, this is how it's supposed to go, but you're an anomaly, Miles. He never tells him that, but that's what I assume he would, because that's something you would do to someone who's not in a canon event. So the whole canon thing is really, like, it's the central point in the movie, and sometimes it feels like it's not trying to be, because again, they're trying to go like, well, he's gonna save his dad, we can't let that happen, except his dad might not even be captain. So is it supposed to be a captain thing? Is it supposed to just be his dad thing? We don't know. So wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse, I suppose. But as it is, Across the Spider-Verse feels like it's trying to fill up a hole until we get to Beyond the Spider-Verse. And that's fine, because I love the animation. The second half of the movie is excellent, and the character is excellent. Like, I love all the characters here. Like, Miles is a great character. The comedy doesn't feel as good. I'm just gonna be honest, the comedy of this movie kind of sucked. But in the rare moments that it did, like, you know, maybe you should get off that kid's ass, you know, things like that, that was hilarious. I just feel like this movie's kind of a letdown from the last one, when I was expecting a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 at least, but this movie feels like an 8 out of 10, at most times anyway. So those are my thoughts on the movie for the most part. I know it sounds like I've just been rambling, but it's because I really wanted to love this movie, and I still like it. I really like it. Like, I almost love it, but I just can't bring myself to love it. So that's going to be it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like button and leave a comment on what you thought of the movie. Is there anything that I missed that you want me to cover? Please leave a comment down below. And we are almost at 200 subscribers, so if you guys would like to, you know, share this with your friends, whoever, I don't care, please share, subscribe, you know, all that fancy jazz. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.